The new federal gun safety law could send millions of dollars to help make St. Louis a safer city. That's one reason Mayor Tishaura Jones is headed to Washington, D.C. tomorrow. Our political editor, Mark Maxwell, is here to preview what we can expect. Mark?
Mike, we've heard from Mayor Tishaura Jones singling out Republicans in Jefferson City during her State of the City address. She said then that the state's measures to ban gun laws in Missouri tied the hands of police and made Missouri less safe. As she boards that plane for our nation's capital, one of her spokesmen says the new gun safety law might open a new source of cash flow for the city's ongoing public safety efforts.
This is an important first step in getting guns off of our streets and the first major federal gun safety legislation passed in 26 years.
Mayor Tishaura Jones will join gun control advocates at the White House Monday after President Biden echoed their calls for gun safety after the school shooting in Uvalde, Texas.
For God's sake, just do something.
The White House will celebrate that bipartisan measure the president signed into law 2 weeks ago, though it does not go as far as many Democrats wanted, to ban assault weapons or high-capacity magazines or raise the legal age to buy a gun. Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell called the compromise
some common-sense solutions without rolling back rights.
The new federal gun law closes the so-called boyfriend loophole, which allows dating partners in domestic violence cases to buy a gun. It also includes incentives for states to implement red flag laws, more penalties for gun traffickers, enhanced background checks for younger gun buyers, and more funding for mental health care.
This would allow the city to increase funding even further to deploy interrupters and other community resources in high crime neighborhoods to reduce violence and make our city safer overall.
At the local level,
I own guns.
St. Louis Alderman Joe Vaccaro says gun owners can take steps to make the city a safer place on their own.
Common sense things.
He secures his handguns in a safe with special locks. When you take them out of the house,
You don't leave them in your car. If your gun gets stolen out of your car, that's not a responsible gun owner. And if that gun is traced back to you in a crime, that's going to be your problem. That should be your problem. It's not, but it should be.
Vaccaro recommends returning a controversial police practice to retrieve stolen guns.
In order to get those, you got to do stop and frisk.
But red flag laws and other federal gun safety protocols are outlawed here under a relatively new Missouri state law.
We're in court fighting.
While local and federal law enforcement challenge that ban in court, Vaccaro argues state lawmakers should reverse course and adopt the very same red flag laws President Trump once endorsed when he was in the White House.
If there's evidence that shows that you're not in a good state of mind, absolutely you should have your guns taken away.
What could that federal law mean in the state that bans federal gun laws? We expect to hear more of those details tomorrow morning, including ways that federal funding just might reroute some 911 calls to help send clinicians with cops, especially in cases of medical emergency.